Let's get into League Two. A busy day there. Lots of fixtures this afternoon. Just a couple this evening, but at the Globe Arena this afternoon, the league leaders Swindon are at Morecambe. Swindon 5 points clear of second place against a Morecambe side who look like they've missed out on the playoffs now. 11 points adrift with just 6 games to go. How have the league leaders started at the Globe Arena? Gary Weaver.
Well, Jules, Swindon settled the better, but the first chance of the game has just come in the last minute or so. Lewis Alessandra of Morecambe racing through the middle, bearing down on goal. And Jamie Keverley, the former Blackburn defender, managed to sprint back, get a touch on it, and the ball went wide for a corner. So the first big chance going Morecambe's way, 0-0.
Oh, no goal, rather, but an update from the Globe Arena. The leaders, Swindon, in League Two, 12-1 on now for the title. But are they playing like champions-elect, Gary Weaver?
Well, they are. They're the more settled team so far, looking more assured, but they've yet to really worry Barry Roach in the Morecambe goal. Since you were last with us, Morecambe had a big penalty appeal. Danny Carlton going down inside the penalty area. Difficult to tell from here whether he was actually caught. The referee waved it away. Paolo Di Canio's had his first rant of the day at one of his own players, but he's settled down now. Still 0-0.
Elsewhere in League Two, Morecambe in action against Swindon. Another side looking to get up into League One. The table toppers 5 points clear of second place, and there's been a goal early on in the second half. Is it the league leaders, Gary Weaver?
It is, Jules. Just to start, the Swindon wanted to the start of this second half. They lacked a cutting edge in the first 45, but within the opening minute of this second half, across on the right-hand side, Holmes headed it back to Paul Benson, who couldn't miss point-blank range for his 10th of the season. Swindon lead by a goal to 0.
Won 14 of their last 17 league games, and Swindon in front once again at the Globe Arena. And what's happening at the Globe Arena, where the league leaders in League Two, Swindon, took the lead? They've got the best defence in the Football League. Has it looked like being breached yet, Gary Weaver?
It doesn't. I don't know where this Swindon performance has gone in the second half, but Paolo Di Canio must have really got amongst his players at half-time. They've dominated the second half. They've got this game now in the firm grip of their hands. I'll tell you who's made a difference. It's Lee Holmes, on loan from Southampton. Came on just before half-time. He's operating down the left-hand side. He's made a big difference. Swindon still leading by a goal to 0.
Right, let's get the latest on the match involving the League Two leaders, Swindon. They're at the Globe Arena. Are they still leading in this one, Gary Weaver?
Yeah, penalty.
They certainly are. Could have been 2. Paul Benson, who scored the first just at the start of the second half. He went racing through behind the Morecambe back line, took a heavy touch though, and the keeper was there to greet him. Then at the other end, Morecambe have shown a bit more life now in the last few minutes, and Danny Carlton had an opportunity, but Foderingham in the Swindon goal was there to deny him. 1-0 to Swindon, 15 minutes just over that to play.
And a Swindon Town heading for another 3 points at the top of League Two. Gary Weaver.
Well, at the moment they are. They should be out of sight by now, though. They've had another opportunity in the last few minutes with Rissa and Ronan Murray combining. Rissa's effort, though, was kept out by Barry Roche. Morecambe are on the attack now. It's been cleared. The big worry for Swindon is the fact they haven't taken this second goal, and Morecambe could hit them late on. Still 1-0, though, to Swindon.
Let's get to the game involving Morecambe and the League Two leaders, Swindon. Swindon still just one ahead and haven't really been convincing, have they, this afternoon, Gary Weaver?
No, particularly in the first half. They are still leading by a goal to 0, but Morecambe are just upping the pressure in these final few minutes. Will Haining has had a couple of long throws on the right-hand side, which, of course, Swindon a few problems, but this will be a big 3 points if Paolo Di Canio's side can hang on to this. Still 1-0 in the closing stages here.
And more from League Two as a Paolo Di Canio. Swindon keep up their title push, but it wasn't easy at Morecambe. Right, let's step out of the Championship and let's step in to League Two. Plenty of action for you to have a look at here. There's a chance for Swindon to go a massive 8 points clear today, but we already know that they couldn't do it if Torquay won, and they did. So would Swindon get a 15th win in 18 games in the league at Morecambe? Well, the answer is yes, but again, like Torquay, they had to wait for it. No goals in the first half. The home side came closest to scoring with Lewis Alessandra beating the offside trap, but chipped his effort just wide. Decisive goal, though, came 1 minute into the second half. Joe Devereux's cross headed back across goal by Lee Holmes, tucked in by Paul Benson. 1-0 Swindon. And Paolo Di Canio's men remain 5 points clear of Torquay at the top of the table, and they also still have a game in hand.
For League Two, all the games took place on Good Friday, including the leaders Swindon, who made the journey north to Morecambe. Well, before we get into the action, here's a quick look at the Shrimps' history, a club that's always played with a smile on its face.
Bring me sunshine in your smile.
After numerous attempts to break the stranglehold that Rugby League had in this area, Morecambe Football Club was formed in 1920. They originally played their games at Christie Park, named after club president and major benefactor J.B. Christie, but in 2010 moved into the swanky 6,500 capacity Globe Arena. Fiona Bruce, eat your heart out. How much would this be worth on the Antiques Roadshow? Pride of place in the tunnel at the Globe Arena goes to this door from the kit room at Christie Park, which has been signed by a who's who of English football. Peter Schmeichel, Bobby Charlton and Tom Finney, to name but three. They're called the Shrimps after Morecambe Bay's famous local delicacy. The biggest day in the club's history came in 2007 at Wembley, when they beat Exeter City in the conference playoff final to reach the Football League for the first time, with current player Danny Carlton scoring their winning goal.
Look out, the game's started!
There's a distinct line in comedy about Morecambe. This fella took his stage name from his hometown and was an occasional visitor to Christie Park. Jim Bowen was honorary president of the club until 2003. But perhaps the funniest moment in the club's history was when mascot Christy the Cat was sent off after an altercation with the Dagenham and Redbridge goalkeeper Tony Roberts. Shame on you! Shame on you!
Paolo Di Canio didn't enjoy this. The Swindon boss less than impressed with his size display at Morecambe. But the man he's described as his best signing for the club came up trumps less than a minute into the second half. Paul Benson simply couldn't miss. The striker's 10th goal since joining on loan from Charlton back in January edged the leaders closer to the title. Morecambe boss Jim Bentley, on the other hand, declared himself massively frustrated at the finish. Nick Fenton's deflected header almost rescued his side, a deserved point, but Swindon are almost there.
Paul Benson struck his 10th goal of the campaign to strengthen Swindon's top-of-the-table position. However, manager Paolo Di Canio declared himself less than happy with his side's 1-0 win at Morecambe. The home team could and perhaps should have got a point out of the game.
Swindon made the trip to the Globe Arena, buoyed by their midweek success at Barnet, which allowed the Robins to move 5 points clear at the top. They faced a Morecambe side who'd lost their last two at home. But it was the Shrimps who made the brighter start. Jay McEvely's superb last-ditch tackle denied Luis Alessandro the chance to open the scoring inside the first 10 minutes. The opening period produced few clear-cut opportunities. However, another timely intervention from Adam Flint on this occasion also foiled Craig Curran on the stroke of half-time. Paolo Di Canio's team talk at the break seemed to work wonders. Swindon took the lead in the very first minute of the second half. Paul Benson claimed his 10th for the club in League and Cup since his January transfer from Charlton. Morecambe had failed to score in their last two home matches, and they rarely tested Wes Fotheringham in this one. Curran was the culprit for that miss. Jim Bentley's men continued to look for a route back into this game in the closing stages. Substitute Jordan Burrow came within inches of an equaliser. The host's best chance arrived in stoppage time. It fell to Nick Fenton, but Town got lucky, relieved to see the defender's header come back off the frame of the goal. Swindon survived Morecambe's late onslaught as they took their number of away league victories into double figures for the season. By Di Canio's own admission, it wasn't the greatest of displays, but the Robins did enough to secure 3 more points as they edged ever closer to promotion.